Okay, so today, my name is Idowu, and I have with me in the house today a very interesting personality. His name is Idowu Folarin. He's a mentor, a motivational speaker, master trainer, and is developing leaders to lead the financial revolution. He worked briefly with an engineering company, and today is the CEO of Fiyosi Shalom Nigeria Limited. He's currently a top leader in Africa, representing his company from the United States of America. He has led and trained over 1,000 people to earn in foreign currency with his company's program. He is married with 3 beautiful daughters. Please join me in welcoming today. You have the comment section in front of you. You can send your comments to admin. You can send it to everyone on that group. Join me in welcoming today as we have an exciting discussion today with Idowu Folarin. Please let me welcome him. If you're in the house today, just say welcome, welcome, welcome. You can do that in that window and just say welcome. It's going to be an exciting time tonight. I always look forward to these nights to learn, and I hope you have your notes with you as well so that you can document the things that you're learning. Okay, you can see some people have found their keyboards and they are saying welcome, welcome, welcome now as well. Excellent. So it's going to be an exciting time today. I think that's an exciting profile. Over 1,000 people trained. Exciting things representing your country, your company from America, one of the top leaders in Africa. I think it's a delight to have you here today. So you're welcome, Idowu Folarin. You're welcome to today's interview.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Mr. Abiolu. It's a pleasure to be on this program with you again tonight.
Thank you. So what we would like to know as a starting point so that everybody here can listen and learn, can you tell us about how your life was before network marketing and what difference this industry is making for you?
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, it's a pleasure to be with you on this call. I've had a series of speakers ahead of me that have come giants in the industry. And the last speaker was one of our top leaders in our company today. Last week, he came on board here and he really, he put everything on fire here. And tonight is just a pleasure as well. I'm super excited to be with you. And tonight, to see myself to be the one that is going to be sharing this opportunity is something that really excites me. To give an history of what my life was, or the story of what the life was for me before this industry, I will look back at 2016 and 2006, 2007, 2005, and all of that. You see, when I graduated back from school, I made up my mind never to work for anybody. I used to be someone that's always loved to do things for myself, business back then in school, and I graduated. I made up my mind, I said I would never work for anyone, and that happened for me. I ventured into businesses and I was doing that, buying and selling and all of that. Things were just going well for me until 2007, 2008. Then the so-called economic meltdown came up. And when that happened, my business just died. And all of a sudden, I just got married 2007. And I was wondering what was going on here, you see. And all of that began to what am I going to do right now? So I began to manage stuff. How things would go happen for me and all of that. And I just realized I needed to do something better for myself. So 2010 came, and that was when we just gave birth to our first daughter. And I was managing to see the kind of lifestyle I promised to give my family wasn't just coming forth. That was how somebody gave me a call and said, look, something is happening. You got to take a look at this. And I was called to this industry. I took a look at that, being someone who wanted to just do business, since it's not going to entail me going to work for anyone. I still have to do it myself. I embrace it. And that was how I started in 2010. I started this business. The very first company I joined then, they were involved into what they call suspension gel. And we had to rip it off and lick it and all of that. When doing that, I went for meetings. I saw people. I was not excited seeing people succeeding and all of that. But unfortunately, I stayed in that company for 2 years with no success. So I was battling myself around what's going to happen. I went about that 2010, 2011, and going about from one company to another, trying to see how things work. That was when I was called to one of the companies that I got to meet you at Bank Anthony here. Went to that meeting then around 2011, thereabout, and I met you at that meeting, IFE. I saw you talking and all of that. I was like, what's going on here again? I was like, okay, this is good. So I had you the way you were flowing, talking and all that. I got inspired. I said, okay, things could happen. And I continued that way. I just saw myself just moving but there was no success around me. So I continued in that manner 2011, 2012, and all of that. So then we got to 2013. That was when things began to really hit me the hard. Before 2013, 2012, in the mid-year, towards the second half of the year, I just had to sit and make a resolution again. I said, look, you said you're not going to work for anyone. I think it's time for you now to go and pick up a job. I came to that point when things were just work. I've been in this business now for 2 years. Nothing happened. I've tried one or two by the side. Nothing has happened. I said, let me go and pick up a job. And that was how I picked up my first job and last job. I picked up that job. I wrote my resume. I did everything. This company employed me to be their business development manager. I was so excited to be the manager. But guess what? I was disappointed when they handed over to me my appointment letter. So I looked at it. I looked at the salary. My title was very big, but my salary was nothing compared to the title that they gave to me. So that got me to say, okay, look, I just need to start somewhere. It will just continue. And in no time, maybe you just need an experience there, then you move to the next company. I thought that would take me just a while. I've been there for 3 months. I promised myself I wasn't going to stay long. I found myself there 3 months, 6 months, a year is going, and all of that. I was still managing less than 100,000 as a salary. Then 2013 came. December 2013, a day to Christmas, it was December 24th. I was in the living room and my first daughter woke up to me and she came right to me and said, Daddy, looking at me eyeball to eyeball, Daddy, tomorrow is Christmas. We don't have chicken at home. We don't have rice at home. I looked at her, paused for a moment. What's going on here? And I was wondering in my head, who told you during Christmas we must buy rice and chicken? And as I was saying that, she was just laughing and, no, Daddy, we don't have rice and chicken. We need to buy rice and chicken. I was just looking at her. I didn't respond at all. When she saw that Daddy didn't say anything, out of respect, somehow I felt she just left. And when she left, I walked into the room. That was when I went to where I wrote some of my goals. I began to look at these goals. I said to myself, you are a manager. You promise your family all of this lifestyle. Look at the goals you promise. If you have been lying to people out there that you are the manager, you earn this and all of that, I think this is the time you don't have to lie to yourself. I looked at this and I made another decision to myself. I said, look, at this point, there is no point lying to myself again. I need to do something better than what I'm doing. If as a manager, before the end of the month, I could not put food on the table for my family, there is no point going about this business. This is Christmas, no rice, no chicken at home. That was the starting point of me thinking something else for me to do in my life. So the next year, January came. When that next year, January came for me, that was 2014, I began now to look for something better to do. I was going from one spot to another, one meeting to another meeting, and somebody invited me to this meeting. I went to this meeting at Planet One. I got to that meeting and I had a young gentleman spoke. When I had this young gentleman spoke, he said he was 31 years old and he was earning $350,000. Idowu, I could not sit. I stood up. You mean you are 31 years old and you are doing $350,000? And it wasn't the case. He said he's a Nigerian. We're having this. It was a Skype meeting then. He was talking all the way from the US. 31 years doing $350,000. I was uncomfortable in that meeting. I said, no, this cannot happen. Now, to wrap up the meeting, this man promised to come to Nigeria then. I said, I will do everything to see you if you are this 31 and you're doing this much. So he promised to come to Nigeria, and the very first meeting he came to Nigeria, April 16. April 16, 2014 is a year I will never forget. He came and we had this meeting at Muslim Center, and I think that was a turning point for me generally in my life. When I got to that meeting, I ensured I got to that meeting. It was session 4. So I went for the first session. I got there a little late, so I was sitting in between. So I sat there and they started all the meeting and all of that. And it was time they now brought this man up. The moment they called this man up, the moment he climbed the podium from where I was far seated, this man was sparkling from his head to toe. That was when I knew and I saw what this company have, the possibility in this company. Hearing him from afar, it was a different thing. Now I saw him live from afar where I was seated. I could tell the wealth that surrounds this man, the kind of success that sparked hope in me. I saw possibility. I saw the things, I saw what I could become in this company, and that was the beginning for me in this industry.
Awesome. 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 Okay, so I like the way the story projection had gone. So at some point, you had gotten involved in the industry, it wasn't successful, things were going low, you went to get a job, and then you got into the industry, and boom, it began to happen. Okay, so I like you to tell me why, so you said you wanted to do business, you wanted to do things by yourself. Why network marketing? Why, why have you stayed consistent from 2014 until date? What are the things you can see in network marketing that encourages you to continue with it?
All right. Thank you again. From where I just stopped now, seeing this man at that meeting, that gave me hope. Now I had the confidence. I saw what is possible in this industry from what I saw. I had him talk about how he started his own at age 21 as well, and getting to where he was. Then hopes packing for me. Now, initially for me, it wasn't like I came into network marketing as something that I really wanted to do. I was just looking for how to survive. Back then, 2010, I was just looking for how I would survive. Then me being introduced to this, everything became more meaningful for me 2014, April 16. See, at that meeting, this man didn't say anything much. He climbed on that podium and he asked a very simple question. He said, why are we all gathered here? And everybody screamed, we gathered here for money. And it was obvious, we all came in for the meeting for money. And he said, look, this subject of money will not make sense if we don't address this thing. And what he said, that was the beginning of my transformation. He picked up, he said, bring me a board on the stage. They brought me a board and I get a pen. And he wrote on that board, mentality. Mentality, that was what he wrote. When he wrote the word mentality at the board, he said, look, everyone here wants money, but if we do not address the issue of mindset, mentality that we all brought in here, he said, this money issue will not make sense. He said, take a look at the word mentality. And if you take a look at the word mentality, M-E is me. That has to do with me, plural. M-E-N, men, plural of me. M-E-N-T-A, mental, that has to do with the way we think. Mentality, then that is the great reality of things, how things evolve for you. Then he put everything together. He said, look at it. He said, me and the men around me, the people you surround yourself with, the way you think, the way you perceive money, the way you talk about money forms the great reality of your life. That was something that hit me hard. I first said, look, this man is lying to us. How do you mean the people that surround me determines the reality of my life? I said, let me do a mental assessment of the people around me. And I began with the first person that is very close to me. Very, very close to me. And guess who? That was my wife. My wife was the very first person. And when I finished the assessment, she was as broke as me. So we've been thinking together. I looked at the next person as well that's very close to me. And I go to this person. I asked him for advice on how to become rich and wealthy in life. I did my assessment. This man was fantastically broke as well. I did the third person. I didn't bother to just go further again. I realized where the problem was for me. So at that point, I realized if I can deal with the issue of the mentality I have right now, then I can see a difference in the result I have. Because I've been doing this now for a couple of 1 or 2 years now, I'm going to 3 years. Now there wasn't any result. I'm listening to a multi-millionaire telling me that the mindset I had up to that point has a whole lot to do to the success I've had all this while. Then I knew I needed to work on this. Now, in saying everything, I began to look at how can I get to where he is. Now, at that meeting, he revealed a few secrets that got me going from that moment. He said he has revealed or he has released an audiobook called what? Conceive, Believe, and Achieve. And it made mention of certain things in that. The next thing I did was to look for how I could lay hold of that. I did all of that. I lay hold of that audiobook and I began to listen to it. The first thing I realized was that this man mentioned a few secrets in these things that he was doing. Now, I was so yearning because ever since I met him from that meeting, I stayed all through the fourth session of that meeting. I wanted to look at him more closely and had the opportunity when he was walking to the car. I looked at his skin, I looked at his wristwatch, I looked at everything. I was just too impressed. I made up my mind. I said, I will listen to this man, anything he said. So that led me to go and lay hold on that audio, and I began to listen to that audio. I had him say a few things. And the very first thing he made me to understand that he had to work on his mind. So for me, I've been doing the business up to that point. I never knew anything about me working on my mind. I knew from that moment what has brought about the success this man had and the failure that I had up to that point. So the difference is becoming more glaring for me. Then he made mention of some steps that he took. One of the things that he began to do was that he mentioned the first thing that he did was for him to listen to a book. I beg your pardon, that he read the book and he listened to 1 or 2 audios. Those things began to be my foundation. I laid hold on those things, and the very first book that he mentioned in that audio book was the book Think and Grow Rich. I bought the book, I began to read the book. But guess what? Before he mentioned that book, I've heard about the book 2000, year 2000, way back 2000. I didn't do anything about it. Now, failure got me to the point whereby I said, whatever this man said, I will listen to him. Now, he's age 31. Age-wise, we're not the same, but I said to myself, it's not about age. Whatever he asked me to do now, I have to do it. He said he read the book called Think and Grow Rich. I got the book. He said he listened to an audio called The Stranger's Secret by Game. I went to look for the other book. I listened to that as well. I had him say he listened to it for 5 months. I listened to it for straight 1 year. All through the 2014, that was what I was listening to. The second one was Magic of Believing. So these 3 things began to form some strengths that have kept me going and have brought me to where I am today. I did all of that, then this industry now makes sense to me. First, I've seen the possibility. I've seen what is possible right now. That gave me hope. All I wanted to do right now to build myself with the capacity to be able to get to where I want. And those things that I learned from the audio that I had from me, I began to work on them. I began to feed myself, and that has strengthened me and brought me to this far that I am today.
I like this. Well done. Thank you very much, Idowu. I think, so, and I want us to break this down so that it can be clear to people. So if I hear you correctly, you're saying, I can be in this industry, I can start out, and I can do everything that I need to do and still fail. And
Absolutely.
then I can change a few parameters, get into this industry again, and then if I commit, if I'm frustrated enough to be able to shut up, listen, and do, I can get a new experience.
Absolutely.
Okay, interesting. So in your view, what were the key things? So what were the key principles or lessons you learned from these materials or from this process that made your second journey a more successful journey? Can you share those things with us so that, we can make use of them?
Okay, I'll tell you now. You see, I looked at how I got started, all the failures, all the companies that I was involved in up to the point of 2014. Now, it got to 2014, I made up my mind that I would do everything he asked me to do. And the beginning, I began to read this book. I began to listen to these audios and all of that. Then in that process, 2014, I got involved in another company as well. And I realized that all my stay in that company, 2000, I was there for 2.5 years, going to 3 years. Everything I made in that company then, everything I made total in that almost 3 years, Idowu, when I began to apply this thing, I got involved in 2017 in another company right now. Everything I made for whole 3 years, this is what I made. This is what I'm earning right now per week.
Wow.
This is what I'm earning now per week. So what makes the difference between that time and now? Everything I make in total was $4,000. Now, this is my weekly commission here now. So I looked at it. What makes the difference now is what I'm about to share. First, was the fact that I learned all of this thing I'm sharing with you now wasn't what I got from myself. This is the things I learned from this person I want to talk about. That 2014, I came across this man, and this man was like God sent to me. Now, from distance, I was listening to him. From distance. I was listening to him, all what he asked me to do. And 2015 came, I became one of his mentees. So the starting point for me was to make a decision to change my thinking. 2014 was to change my thinking, because this is the root of everything. When I lay hold on that audio book, Stranger's Secret, he said, we become what we think about. Now, when I was doing the business, I wasn't seeing myself successful. I was just going about doing things. It wasn't, my thinking wasn't right. So when I met this man in 2014, I began to touch a few materials that he said on stage. Think and Grow Rich book, Stranger's Secret, Magic of Believing. And I found that There's a whole lot that my success has to do with my thinking. So I began to work on my thinking. So the thinking was the beginning of that. As my thinking began to change, then I began to attract my mentor. 2015, I became his mentee. He began to mentor me one-on-one. So I began to see a whole lot of difference. How I was doing it in the past and how I'm now approaching it. In the past, I was approaching it in a different way, but when I have someone right now successful, very, very successful in the industry, now began to coach me on how to become successful as well in the industry. So the beginning of everything is in the thinking for me. So in one of the audiobooks that he introduced to us, you will hear him talk about it. He said, in that book, Think and Grow Rich, you will see it. He said, desire is the starting point of all achievement. That was what Napoleon Hill said. So desire is the starting point of all achievement. Now, I came in 2010. I just want to just do something for my family. I just want to just get something done. But I found out that there's a level of desire that I needed to develop. It's not just a desire. It has to be a burning desire. It has to be something that consumes me. So the approach I put to it now, going forward with this understanding, was quite different. So I had a burning desire for my success right now. So that was something that was just beyond me just wanting it. It was something that consumed me. It was something that became an obsession for me. It has to be this or nothing else. So it became that obsession for me, and that was how things began to turn around for me. And what now led to the massive things was some of the principles and laws that I learned from my coach and mentor. One of the powerful things that I learned from him, one of the most powerful secrets that has gotten me, that's helped my success so much, was when I had him taught us about the success balance scale. This was one of the powerful secrets that has helped me so far in my success today. He spoke about the success balance scale, and I took my time to look at it, and this really helped me a great deal. When we talk about success balance scale, everybody came into the business wanting to achieve success. That's what we all came in for. Now, if you are listening to me, you are in your company, you probably want to earn $1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 or 20, whatever the amount is, whatever it is, it's a success. Or whatever you take as a success. Maybe you want to go for vacation, because most of those things we couldn't do some of those things before. But when I looked at this understanding, it made us to understand. He said, whatever you want in the business is called your success. I was dreaming of earning $1,000 then. Can you imagine? I was dreaming of earning $1,000 then. Okay, $1,000, because 2014, I have not earned $1,000 in the industry. So $1,000 would mean a lot for me. I put that, he was using as an example, $1,000, let's achieve this is a success. He said, now the success balance scale comes with two sides. It has to do with mental, or what you call spiritual, and the other side is what we call the physical, or stroke the technicality. Now, knowing from that training, I got to understand that the mental side of spiritual has a whole lot to do with 90 to 99% effort that I need to put in on my mental side to spiritual side for me to achieve that $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. The 1% left is just for me to put in the effort, the work, the physical thing that I could see. Now, up to that point, guess how I've been approaching it? I've been approaching it this way. The technical stroke physical, I've been putting 99% effort on that. And my spiritual and mental side, I put in only 1% effort, Adeolu. And that led me to huge failure. So I began to look at it. What is the things that are in this mental side? What are the things that are in the spiritual side? I found that there are intangible things that I could not even see. These are intangible things that I could not touch. This has a whole lot to the things this has a whole lot to do with spiritual things. But before now, the 1% is where I concentrate my effort on. What are those things? How to do the business, how, work. So I go to meetings back then, I concentrate my effort on presentation. How can I present the way that guy presenting? My first company, I saw how those people were talking fluently, how they were doing the work, how do I need to go and gather people, how do I need to just get all those presentation, inviting, and all those things, those were the things I concentrated my effort on. And I was just doing more of that. I pay little attention to the spiritual side. Now, what are the things on the spiritual or mental side? The first thing I discovered, it has to do with what? My goal. You see, this is desire. My goal, my vision for my life, the dreams I have for my family, the motivation I have for my success, the reasons why I need to earn that amount of money. These are the things that I need to concentrate 99% of my effort on. So I learned how to now focus on my goals, how to develop burning desires, way more than how to do it. How to do it if I have, because this thing we talk about has a law that it works with. It's how to do with what they call the law of attraction. So if I have my goal and desire more consumed, because I said the dominant tone that I carry here, the dominant tone that consume me all the time, he said it will eventually reproduce itself by what? It's going to bring people my way. It's going to bring events. It's going to be situation and circumstance that will bring about how to do it. But I never focused the energy. I was focusing on the how, and sometimes looking at the how, I got overwhelmed. And when I got overwhelmed, that consumed my thinking. And as that consumed my thinking, I reproduced the failure. I began to work on this. Then I now designed a beautiful goal for myself. I made the dreams for the family so great. I began to look at those things. I began to imagine myself right now driving in my BMW car. I began to see myself now taking my family now to a 5-star hotel lounge. I began to see myself taking my family for vacation. I began to see myself now sleeping in 5-star hotel and all of that. I began to look at this when I had nothing to do. So this so consumed my mind. Then it began to attract the people my way. Then it began to attract the skill that I need on how to talk. Then it began to attract all of the resources that I need to come my way. This understanding brought the huge difference that I have in my result today and the result I had back then. That has been it.
Okay, interesting. Interesting, Folarin. So if I hear you correctly, we are saying that it's inside out. First of all,
definitely.
Yeah, inside. First of all, the internal, and then it will attract the external. Instead of focusing on the skill sets, if we change the inner attitude, everything.
Yeah. Because if you see, many of us back then, I had people that we came in together. We're lots open, looking at those people that are presenting. We're just only if I can talk the way he's talking, only if I had the people he had, only if I can go out and all those things. Those were all what we're concentrating our energy on. We never looked at our dreams. We never looked at our goals and all of that, and focus energy on that to be able to get to the skill that we need to do all of that. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so I'm going to take you on a little bit of a detour, and that's because I'm preempting the fact that this question is coming up on people's minds, and they're asking, okay, so how do I find this? And that's the question of mentorship. So a lot of your discussion is showing that you have someone who mentored you, and somebody is thinking here, what does that mean? What does that mean? Does it mean that I will sit down in an audience and be looking at them from afar? Does it mean I will read their books? What does it mean to be mentored? And, what does that mean on a regular basis? And how can somebody avail themselves that kind of opportunity?
Okay. Thank you very much. In my growth to where I am today, I found out that mentorship is very, very key in success in life. A coach is very, very key in success. If you take a look at the football team today, you look at them, they're all there, but there's somebody out there helping them to design what the outcome of that match is going to be like. That is the role of a mentor to your success. Now, some of us have not come to understand that in this industry or in this business. We come into the business and we just want to do it our own way. Now, what you need to understand is that for you to succeed in whatever you are doing, you need to look for who has been to where I want to go. You actually came here for a reason. So that reason could be that I want to live a successful lifestyle like this. I want to start to earn something like this. I want to get a skill set like this. I want to do something like that. So when I come in, who is there? Who has attained this? Now, from where you are coming, you might be a success from wherever you are coming from. That's good. But in this particular one that you just came in right now, you are not that successful yet. So there have been people who have been successful there. So you want to find out who is that person? Who are those people that have been successful? Who are those people that have gotten to that place so I can be where they are or I can get to that place? So when I got to understand that changed the game for me. So mentorship is about you leveraging on someone who has been where you are. Someone who knows everything. You want to start to earn $1,000, this person already earned $1,000. You want to start to earn 10,000, this person is earning multiple of that. So he can tell you how to do that. So the mentor help you to do what? To shorten the journey. If it's going to take you a year, your mentor can help you shorten to become a month or 2 months. But you see, all of this will happen if you understand what it takes for you to attract your mentor. Yeah. Now, sometimes mentorship doesn't necessarily have to be somebody. The person has to be with you physically. The person has to be with you one-on-one, or you have to have a direct communication, direct relationship with that person. No, mentorship is not that way. It's not. It's not solely that way.
Okay.
Mentorship could be, in distance, in whatever form. Now, when I started my mentorship relationship with my coach and mentor today, it wasn't. It didn't start that way. It started from distance for me. When I went to that meeting, it was in that meeting I resolved in my mind. I said I would do everything this man said I should do. I wasn't saying that to him physically, but I was saying that to myself. Right from that meeting, I said, look, this, because his success it was something else for me. I said, look, whatever this guy said I should do, as a Christian, I just quickly went to the scripture. I listened to what happened in John when they were in that marriage, and they went to go and meet the mother of Jesus, and he said to them, whatever is asked you to do, just do it. So that scripture came to mind. I said, whatever he asked me to do, I'm going to do. So he was talking about how he read this book, how he listened to this audio, how he released this thing. Okay, the first thing I wanted to get his audio. I got his audio. I began to listen to his audio. Everything he said in audio, I wanted to see how I was going to do them. As I began to approach that thing, that was somehow mentorship for me. Now, mentorship from distance with it. So as I was doing all of that, something began to change within me. It will surprise you. We're talking after he approached him, when he began to mentor me, he said it was from distance that he noticed that we connected. That the spirit now connected because I have started doing what he said I should do. So he said this at Intercontinental Hotel. So you see, you will attract your mentor when you start to do what he asks you to do, even from far distance. So people want someone to mentor them and coach them right away. No, this is going to happen from far distance. If you do what he asks you to do, I was listening to the audios that he recommended. I was reading the book that he recommended, but my mentality has begun to change to be able to attract it. Right. And when we got to that point, we got connected. So mentorship could be afar. All you need to do now. Some of the books that I read today, I've not met Napoleon Hill, but this will be my fourth time now I'm reading this book, Napoleon Hill. But when I heard him say, I read that right now, I've not met him, but Napoleon is one of my mentors today. Kevin Trudeau is one of the mentors too. But I have not met all of these people physically, but I listen to their audio. Jim Rohn, that you will ever know, is of blessed memory today, is one of our mentors. I've not met him, but the amount of time I've listened to Jim Rohn today, you will know today that it's a mentor. So mentorship is you resolving to say, this person has gone to this place. Now, let's bring it down now to our industry right now, or to our company right now. Who is that person that is successful? Pick that person. Tell the person. Anything you said I should do, you might not even need to tell the person. It might be something that you just resolve in your mind. Whatever he asks me to do, you do it. You see, a lot of people some people even say to me, they'll do that, mentor me, coach me. And I say, okay, let's do this way. And guess what they said to me? This is how I'm always doing my own thing. You know how to do your own thing, and now you're asking me now to mentor you again. You get the point right now. Our life, we did it because when your coach is mentoring, most often, the way you are approaching is not the way. It's not the way. Their own way, it will look totally different, and you'll be wondering, do you want to do it your own way? Many times my coach, I laugh when they say, this is the way. And I will tell this is my own way. But that thing that has cautioned me within, whatever I say you should do, whether it makes sense or not, just do it. And it will always come like that sometimes. Sometimes it won't make sense to you because you are not seeing what they are saying. So that is what I've learned from mentorship.
True. Very good. I'm sure somebody out there is listening to all of this and saying, okay, great. These are things I'm going to implement. Thank you very much for that. Someone is looking today and is asking, okay, so your story is very, very good. We saw the part where it wasn't working. We saw when you struggled a bit, and we saw where it blew. If you had the opportunity of going back in time and running this course again, are there things you would do differently? What will you do differently?
Absolutely. Yeah. If I had the course to run it back again, to start all over again, I will do those two things. Two things. Two things. My mentor summarized everything in this industry into two. He said it's all about one, belief, two, leadership. These are the two things. Belief and leadership. So if I had the opportunity to start all over again, I will believe much sooner, much bigger, and much faster. If I had the opportunity to start all over again, I will believe much sooner, much faster, and much now. Much bigger. And that is what you need to understand today. That part was missing for me at the beginning. I needed to grow it. I didn't have it. I needed to learn how to grow my belief. And up to this point, I'm still growing on working on my belief. I learned these things on how to grow my belief. Because what I wanted, I'd never experienced it before. So the Bible said it this way: faith is the substance of things we hope for, the evidence of things we have not seen. That is faith. So I was applying faith and all of that. But in the business today that I am today, I don't need faith to accomplish what I want anymore, Idowu. All I need now is belief. Because what I wanted, there is someone I could see that have it right now. There is someone I can trust that have what I wanted right now. So all I needed to work on right now is the belief that I also, Idowu, can do this. And that is the part that is missing that I need to learn how to do. So I learned how to work on my belief from my coach and mentor. The very first thing, 4 ways to impact your belief. 4 ways. The first thing is the environment that you find yourself. You need to create an environment, an enabling environment for your belief to grow. And when we talk about that, this has a lot to do with the images that you surround yourself with. Today, I want to live the kind of lifestyle that I see my mentor. What am I seeing today around me? If the person I am today, if it's the same environment that I'm seeing all the times, by the law and the principle of success, I will keep reproducing it. So I create an enabling environment of success for myself. So I put around me the pictures of where I'm going. So I can keep seeing that place. Because there's a whole lot of what we see, what we hear, what we touch, the 5 senses, how they go to impact our belief. The thought I have all the times. If I keep seeing the same house all the time, I may stay in that house forever. So guess what I do right now? I put around me the pictures of my house. Where I want to go, the house I want to live, I see it because that is the only way for me to do what? To impact my belief. The enabling environment, create a sparkling environment around me. Then I work on the images. Put everywhere the signs, the images. The house I want, my screensaver is I created the pictures in my house and all of that. My car have it, and I want to see where I want. The next car I want to see it. So the images I see also goes out to inform or to impact my belief. The third one, these are what? The information. The information that keeps going inside of me. Think about the word information. Information. What goes in to form our action. What goes in to form our actions. So I needed to look at the right thing that will go inside of me to form my action. So every day I feed myself with positive messages to keep my action going towards my dream, towards my goal and all of that. So I take care of those things. I am observant of the things that I listen to every day. I must listen to what will inform the actions that I take. Take for example, if you're not inspired, how does your action go? It doesn't go well.
Yep.
People want to go out to do the business. They're not inspired. How can they talk? How can you even have the confidence to talk to someone? You see, information, what goes into form my action. So I want to be so inspired. When I meet you, you can feel the spark in me. You can feel the enthusiasm in me. So I work on that every day. I listen to positive information. Things might not look good right now. Things might not look the way I wanted it to look right now. My business might not look like it right now. Nevertheless, I want to feed myself with information that will make me see where I'm going. So I feed myself with that all the time. And the last one will be the experience that you give to yourself. The experience you give yourself will help you to grow your belief. See, back then, I started with this. My mentor then asked me to always come to meet him at his hotel on the island. And he said, if he leaves, he said, Idowu, always see yourself come back to this hotel. Stay around this environment. Buy a bottle of water. Do all of that. You know, before then, I had a very broke mindset. And I would go to that hotel. They are selling one bottle of water, 2,000 Adeolu. A bottle of water that I can buy out there for 15 naira is 2,000. You get what I'm saying right now? But you say, I needed to give myself the experience. He says, so you go to 5-star hotels all the time. Give yourself this experience, and you see yourself in no time, you'll be among those people that spend that money. So I began to do that. I would go to, what was it, Protein Hotel in GRA here. I would go to Sheraton Hotel. I would go to Intercontinental Hotel on the island. This every week. I will sit there, I will buy a bottle of Coke, 600. A bottle of Coke that I will buy outside for 15, I will buy it 600 at GRE. Take pill, I will take in it, feeling the experience. I will stay in that environment, feel it, go to Intercontinental, feel it for myself. Give myself this experience. Give myself this experience. And one day, I go again to car dealers. I looked at the cars because I had him say all of that. I entered the car, the Benz, I entered the BM and all of that. And I will do all of that. Then the ones that I cannot go, I begin to feed myself online. I watch the vacation, the places that I will go. I feed my eyes with my family. I told them to look at it. I do all of these things. I've done them as I speak with you.
Awesome. Awesome.
I've slept in all of those 5-star hotels I talked to you about. I've bought food there. I've taken my family there for lunch. Vacation, I've taken my family out for that. I bought my brand new BMW. I did all of that. I did everything. But I needed to give myself first the experience to be able to believe it. If you called me back then that I would be able to do that, I would tell you no. But it was after much year of giving myself the experience, I feel it. I already see myself already there. Then in no time, how it happened, that wasn't my problem. It happened.
Okay.
So this first one is the belief. The second thing, if I have to do it more again, leadership. Leadership is very, very key in this business. You know, our business is people's business. We deal with people here.
Yep.
We deal with people here. So if you know that one of the greatest resources to manage, somehow difficult for people is people. So leadership is very, very key in this business. So I need to work around that. I found that I needed to first be the leader that will lead people. So my mentor recommended the book to me. I lay hold on that book. I begin to work on my leadership side of it. The book by John C. Maxwell, Becoming, developing the leaders within you. What I have to bring out the leader in me, I began to work on that. And I found out there are some qualities that the leaders need to have. As a leader, for people to follow me, it's a people's business. People won't just follow me. I need to acquire or have some qualities that people need to follow. One of them that I learned from my mentor is what? Positive mental attitude all the time. That is very, very key. You want to become successful in the business. For people to follow you, need to be someone that is always positive as leader. When things don't look the way it is today, the people you are leading, you mustn't show them. You mustn't show in your face that it's not going well. You must be positive as leader all the time. I needed to develop that positive mental attitude all the time. And then to develop what they call pleasing personality, another quality. Pleasing personality. Need to show the part, look the part. Need to learn how to shake someone. Need to learn how to express enthusiasm and all of that. I needed to learn all of this. Pleasing personality. I learned all of these things. I found that leaders, they must have what they call integrity. What you say you would do, you must know how to do. You must do it as leaders. You don't say yes and tomorrow is no. As leaders, a lot of time we said to our people, we'll do this and we don't do that. And you want the people to follow you? Integrity is very, very key. I learned also that leaders must always be what? Teachable and coachable. And that has a whole lot to do with what they call what? Humility. What I do from my mentor is humility. Humility is very, very key. Being teachable and coachable as a leader, humility is a source that you must draw out from that. And the last thing, leaders must develop a what? An incredible work ethic for themselves. Your work ethic must be exceptional. You mustn't be at the same plane with the people you are leading. You must show them the example. You must lead by example with the kind of work ethic you put into your work. So they look up to you, that this man is worth following. So these two things, if I will ever start all over again, I will work on these two parts. My belief and my leadership. I'll work on those two parts very well.
Awesome. Thank you very much for those thoughts. I think those are very good. We're nearing the end of the tally points. I like to, somebody says this one is not interview, this one is training. Somebody's excited. Now, I'd like you to talk about this. So someone is listening. I think you've dropped the lines a few times as you were talking. There's a lot that is possible in this industry, and some people are still doubting. Some people are not sure. They're wondering, who is this industry for? Is this a scam? I'd like you to combine two questions together. Share with us a few things that this industry, you have achieved with this industry, that you are excited about. What has happened to you? What has become your reality that you are proud of? And then at the same time, share with somebody who is out there, who is wondering, is network marketing for me? Is it a scam? Is it real? Can you just, over the next 6 minutes, show us your point of view?
Yeah, thank you. One of the things that really excites me most about this company is the fact that it gives me the opportunity to impact other people's lives. You see, seeing myself gotten to a point where I was earning the amount of money I was earning, and the amount of money I'm earning today, and I see people coming with me in the business also doing that much. See, one of my leaders got to a point where when he was earning 2 million per month, the excitement I saw in him, well of joy in me as well. You mean this can happen through you? God used me to, work with him to get to that level. So one of the beautiful things that really excites me about this business is that it affords us the opportunity to help other people as well. And there's a law that surrounds that always keep me doing more. The law I learned from Zig Ziglar, he said, if you help enough people achieve what they want, you in return will achieve everything you want. So I began to think, if I can help enough people in the industry, so it gives enough room. So now this industry called the network marketing, I tell you, is really, really, really something that, should I say that, look, it's open to everybody, but it's unfortunate not everybody's going to embrace it. Yeah. You see, if you're looking for anything that can enable you to achieve the kind of success you want faster in life, this is the industry. From my own experience.
Yeah.
If you want any kind of success financially in life much faster, this is the industry. This industry has produced more millionaires than any other industry you can ever think of. So what else? So if you want it so fast, this is the industry for you. And above all, like I learned from Jim Rohn, this industry is one of the industries that will help you to develop yourself ever in life. I went to school at Idowu. All what has brought me success today, never, not one I was taught in school. Not one I was taught in school. I learned everything in this industry. And most of these principles that I've applied in my personal life, they are helping me not only in my financial life, they're helping me in my spiritual life, my marital life. Think about it, all of these things. So you want to really grow a successful life, I would suggest you take a look at this industry. When you come in, you will be developed here. If you met me 2010, I think the time I came to your office, if you recall back then, at GRE, when I came to you 2011, when I wanted to do something, I said, okay, I had this plan, guide me on all of that. I was just coming up. I was just coming up then. And I'm grateful. 16 years, I came up, but today, looking at the difference between 2011 and now, as we kept going on, the growth, the amount of growth that we've acquired right now has brought us this far. So I will encourage anyone out there, if there's any place for you to grow your life, this is the industry.
Awesome. I would like you to, okay, so there are a few questions that people are posting up. I've seen one question already, and I'd like you to address. Somebody's asking, and I think it's an important question. If anybody else asks a question, we have like 2 minutes to go. You can bring your questions in. This person is asking, So how do you attract? I think you've answered it, but I think the person wants to hear it again, maybe more clearly. How do you attract a mentor? How do you attract a mentor?
You attract your mentor from distance if the mentor is around you. If the mentor is within if the mentor is within your company, you attract your mentor from distance by first applying whatever he's saying to you on stage. So if the mentor is training, the mentor is talking and giving all those training, and so you go and do all what he's saying. They will look at the back office. They will look at whatever they're doing, and they will see this person by your result. Because if you are doing what your mentor is asking you to do, you will see the difference. You will see the result. So they will check in the back office. They will spot you. They will see you. This is one of the person that's applying what we're asking them to do. And they will be the one that will call you. They will call you. By the result they see in the back office, they will call you, come closer. And that's it. So you don't have to, from this training from afar, they give the training from Zoom, they give the training on stage, all those things. When you begin to apply those things, I tell you, remember that word, whatsoever he said I should do. I did that. So you will start to see the difference will show in your result. They will spot you from the back office. They will see this is one of the person that is doing what we're doing, because the result will show, and they will call you. They will bring you closer, and they want to take you again to the next level. That's what has happened for me as well.
Awesome. You know, somebody said that this industry is a personal development factory in disguise.
Absolutely.
that the biggest value is who we become, how we grow, how we learn, how we are pushed.
That's it.
You know.
That's it.
And then we have the experiential opportunity to get all those things together. Okay, I think it's coming together very quickly and very nicely today. It's live on the Facebook group, and it's being recorded. It will be available on YouTube as well. I can see many people commenting on the group online, on the Facebook comments as well. I'd like to take a question from there. People are saying it's a real deal. I'll get the tips and all those kind of things. It's amazing here what's going on. I'd like you to give us a party shot tonight. So there's something you want to, just push out to somebody there. We have people from different networks here, people from different organizations. This industry is a better way, and this industry is going to, people are going to realize, and I think people are realizing lockdown is helping people realize that we can all work from home. So
Absolutely.
The work from home industry is exploding at this time. I'd like you to give a parting shot to somebody there today who is saying, wow, this is, so network marketing can be exciting like this. I'd like to just give a word out there and say, look, this is what I think you should check out. This is what I think you should believe in. Somebody just push the question in. Okay, so it says, let me just, before you answer the closing question, it says, in getting to where you are today, how did you apply the power of focus to what you did? Did you focus on one product or different products? Somebody's asking, Samuel Faboyede is asking that question. Do you have thoughts on that? And then you can give us your parting shot so that we can end it on that note.
I can tell you that when I followed my mentor, I focused on one product. I just focused. Now, what I focused on first was my goal. It wasn't about the company or the product or anything. I focused on my goal, where I was going. So my goal, my dreams, my desire was the one that attracted what I wanted, that attracted the vehicle. The company you had today, the product you have, whatever, all those things are vehicles. The most important thing you need to focus on, where am I going? Focus on your goal. So when you get the right vehicle, you will stay there. When you get the right vehicle, you will stay. So when you are not in the right vehicle, you see yourself jumping from here, going to another one. So I focused on where I was going, my dream. I look at the desire I have, my goals, where I'm going. I make it something big before me. He brought my way, the right vehicle that would take me there. That's what brought the focus for me.
Okay, excellent. Any parting shot today? Someone says I'm speechless. I don't know what it means to believe and stay focused. I celebrate you, sir. That's from Zion. Any parting shots tonight as we round it up tonight?
Yeah, you see, for me, I want to say to people out there, and I learned this from my mentor, is a look. For those of us that are in the industry here, one thing I really want you to really take and go and really work on is take yourself on personal self-development. That is the biggest thing that you need for yourself to achieve your success. See, success is the same anywhere in the world. Success is the same in Nigeria, in the US, in London, everywhere the same. And when you get hold of this, you will discover there are principles and law that govern this success. They are universal. When I learned this from my mentor, so I applied any industry, I applied it to any product, to any company, you will definitely achieve this success. I'm super grateful to my coach and mentor in the person of Mr. David Monite. Everything I shared with you tonight is what I learned from him tonight. Everything is what I learned from him, and I've applied them, and I'm still working on some, and I'm still working more on some right now as I speak with you, because success is not just a destination, it's a moving target. Just when you think you just achieve one, you just know that there's another level for you. There's another level again, and there's another level for you, and there's another level. Thank you very much for having me tonight, Mr. Idowu. I'm super glad after a long time again that we can have a discussion. I'm so proud of what you guys are doing. I'm happy to be identified and associated with this great association in Nigeria here. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Folarin. Thank you so much. I'd like to say to everybody who here today, this happens every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. We meet with the top leaders in network marketing industry in Nigeria. We're building a curriculum that will become the de facto place for you to, integrate into the industry, learn. We don't want just, this industry doesn't recruit for the best, but we take anybody from where they are, and the industry makes them the best. So come as you are, but come ready to learn. Have an open mind, and this is a personal development factory. Thank you very much for all your share tonight. We appreciate. I think many people are, saluting in the comment box and are excited about what they have learned today. Let's go put it to practice. Let's work on our belief and on our leadership. Until we see you again next week, Wednesday, with the next leader that we'll see. Have a beautiful weekend. Thank you, Folarin, again. Well done. God bless.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.